All right, everybody. Today's episode is a gift from the absolute incredible Simon Sinek. And we talk about the 8-minute rule and how to use it in your life. So you never have to suffer in silence as an entrepreneur. You can use it with your friends, your colleagues, how to set realistic expectations and recognizing that the entrepreneurial journey is challenging and it can help you navigate the ups and downs. How it can be used to support your team, people you care about, how to create a code word or phrase with friends or community to make it easier to reach out for help or use the SOS that we teach, how feeling emotions is normal and it gets to be embraced, but it's important to not internalize them or make ourselves wrong for having them, and how joining a supportive community can provide the support and accountability on the entrepreneurial journey. And so I keep it short, it's to the point, it's from Simon Sinek. It's an absolute amazing episode and mindset to have. And so without further ado, let's get into the show. You are not alone. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to be lonely. You don't have to suffer in silence. And I can't stand how most entrepreneurial journeys are done, how people are gaslit, how people are made bad and wrong for having feelings, how people posture their life to make everybody think and believe that it's easy. They guilt, they shame, they blame into saying you have to have it all together. You're not allowed to have ups and downs. And it is simply not the case. And it makes me emotional to talk about it, to remember all the years that I suffered in silence because I was in the wrong buckets, in the wrong containers, and I simply didn't know how to ask for help. And I genuinely believe that rising tides rise all ships. And I genuinely believe that we are a team together in this. And maybe not me and you, but you and a friend, you and a business partner that you have, you and somebody in your family. But we need to set realistic expectations that the game is hard, but we still play it. That we don't have to do this alone, and it's okay to ask for help. That it's okay to have feelings and emotions and not allow them to become our identity. And to also recognize that when we have them, it's not a permission slip to quit. It's an invitation to grow. It's an invitation to connect deeper. And I saw Simon Sinek post this incredible clip talking about the 8-minute rule. And so I don't want to make people bad and wrong. I don't want to call out people, but I am really getting sick and tired of communities and coaches and consultants and people who charge money, making people bad and wrong for feeling bad and wrong, and further deepening in their pain and further conditioning this suffering. And it's just simply not okay. The world that we live in is rude enough and dark enough and scary enough and changing enough that we don't need to internalize all of that and make it worse for each other. We need to be there for each other. We need to be there with a lending arm, a hand, a shoulder, a laugh, a chuckle, a compliment, and recognize that each individual person, you listening to this podcast, is on your own journey, just as I'm on my own journey. But I can tell you through so much experience that my journey is impossible without people in my life that support me. And my journey is sure a whole lot harder and more painful when I don't ask for help. And I've been talking about this for years. I talk about our SOS model, which we'll link in the show notes, that there's even a page on the website for mindofgeorge.com/SOS. And there's a triage model in there. And it's designed for this exact purpose. But can we just normalize this? And can I give you a permission slip right now that not every day is going to be unicorns and rainbows? Not every day is going to feel perfect and easy. In my experience, there are more days that feel hard and challenging than there are good days. But when I feel those days and I operate through those days and I make deposits for my future through those days, the days where the joy and the ease become greater and the feelings become greater. But I just need to say this to you. You're not in this alone. There's a world of people who love you, a world of people who support you, and a world of people who are there to witness you, hold you, and allow you to feel safe in your breakdown so that you can end up in a breakthrough. But the most important part is that the first thing we do is we stop making ourselves wrong for feeling, and we welcome in the fact that the entire human experience is about feeling. It's a modulation of emotions. And when you get to the point where you're numb and when you're checking boxes, you're just on a slow disaster to an unhappy soul. Because the world changes, marketing changes, business changes, team changes, relationships change. And that change becomes a catalyst for us to change and us to grow and us to get stronger. But only when we celebrate it and we don't make ourselves wrong in the process. Celebrate your tears, celebrate your frustrations, celebrate your anger, celebrate your grief, but most importantly, feel it all, but never believe that you have to feel it all alone. Never believe that you have to suffer in silence. But what you must do is accept that it's normal and it's okay. And I promise you, I am friends with a lot of people. I've had a lot of successful people on this podcast, and they will tell you the same thing. The only thing that happens, the bigger your business gets, the bigger your responsibility gets, is the bigger those feelings get, and the traps get, and the imposter syndrome gets. And really having a network, having a friend circle who supports you, having a community that truly, truly supports you for who you are, but not what you do, is the secret to be able to sit in that, to be witnessed in those moments, to then find your clarity and path and have a helping hand of a friend or a community to walk you out of it. And so Simon Sinek has this 8-minute rule, and I absolutely love this to pieces. And I saw this, and it says, have you ever had a friend going through it and wondered, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do? Or have you ever been upset because a friend didn't go to you for something that they were going through? Like, bro, I thought we were close. Or, hey, I didn't know you were struggling. Why didn't you reach out? Or, hey, can I be honest with you? I really, really needed you, and I didn't have the courage to reach out because I didn't know how to start it. I didn't know what to say. And so Simon talks about this 8-minute rule and how it solves both of these challenges and everything in between. And the rule is really, really simple. So Simon says it just takes 8 minutes of being there for a friend, a business partner, a colleague, an employee, while they are struggling, to help them get back on track. And one of my favorite things that Simon Bowen says is nobody chooses to self-sabotage. We just simply behave our way away from it or towards it. And really, we get stuck in these traps and these cycles that prevent us from taking the actions that are going to create different results. And then we internalize all of that, deleting our confidence, making things cloudy, and just really increasing those feelings of rumination. And so this just means you have to be committed to raising your hand and reaching out for help. And so this could be 8 minutes of venting, 8 minutes of asking questions, 8 minutes of you crying, 8 minutes of you asking them to fill your bucket, 8 minutes of you crying on their shoulder, having a Zoom call, having a phone call, or anything to relieve some tension to help you process and feel and get back on track. And so the true secret of this is to set a code for your friend group. Like, this is why we have the Alliance, right? If you don't know about our Alliance, I would welcome you in to join it. No pressure. It's just our family of 150 of us that all support each other the same way. We even have a channel for this, to where if you're ever in that moment, you can post a 911 and ask for help, and we'll all jump in. Whoever's available to support you, to fill your bucket, to jump on a call, to help you navigate what's there. Knowing that the faster you can get through that feeling, the faster you can get back on the field to creating new evidence that will prevent that feeling from happening in the future while protecting your momentum. And so you come up with a code word for you and your friends. And instead of saying, I need you, or I'm in breakdown right now, you just send them a text that says, hey, do you have 8 minutes? And you agree on these code words or a safe word or something along those lines. I use the term lighthouse or SOS with my friends, and I'll say, hey, it's SOS time. Are you available? And they're like, totally. And they'll call me. And within a minute, I'm talking to a friend, I'm clearing, I'm crying. This happened twice yesterday. And then the moment I'm done, I'm like, oh my God, thank you for being there. I'm going to go back to work now. But you come up with a mutually agreed upon term, and then you agree with your friend circle. You agree with the people that are closest to you. You agree with your coach, with your community, with all of it. I even have this with my clients. Like, hey, if you ever need a vent, if you ever need anything, just send me 911. And the moment they send me 911, I'm like, send it. Or what can I do? Or where can I get involved? And we get in together so that we can hold space and support each other to get to the next level. But the most important part is that we have to be willing to raise our hand and reach out, because nobody can come through the laptop. Nobody can come through the phone. Nobody knows that you're sitting there in a chair ruminating. Nobody knows that you're sitting outside crying. Nobody knows that you're pacing around your house until you decide to tell them. And so by creating a simple code or a phrase or a keyword, it gives you the ability to remember something simple to reach out and be able to have that breakthrough. And so when you have a friend, if you set the code, let's say, do you have 8 minutes? You guys agree that when you ever text that to each other, you're like, I need you as soon as possible. And then they can respond and say, yep, let's jump on a call. Let's do this. Let's do that. I'll be over with some bacon and a bottle of wine. I don't know. Come up with something, but recognize that this is normal. Recognize it's okay to feel your feelings. I would invite you that I encourage you to feel your feelings and feel more of them. One of the things that we say in breath work is if it's coming up, it's coming out. And the moment you release it, you get to move on to the next moment. But in the time of the world that we're in the state of entrepreneurship, the state of business, the state of marketing, now is the most important time more than ever to be there. To be there at a deep level, to be there at a connected level, to be there knowing you're not alone, to both ask for support and be support for others, so that we never forget what this is truly about. And really, the reason we do these things is to create impact in the world. But it starts by creating impact on ourselves, sharing that with others, and being there to support each other with our team, our customers, our clients, our friends, our communities, and not making ourselves or anybody else wrong for having bad days. You see professional athletes get flustered, they get frustrated, they had bad games, they're venting, they're crying. You can go watch all of these interviews. You can see that this is normal. But the only way it becomes common and we get to practice the muscle and work through it is when we accept that it's normal and it's completely okay to ask for help. And I also want to just acknowledge all of you that use me on Instagram because I love you for it. It fills my bucket to be able to support you. It fills my bucket knowing that you had the courage and confidence to reach out and ask for help. And it's okay to do so. And not everybody's going to be there to help, but you just keep asking, you keep going, and you don't allow temporary feelings to create undesirable permanent results by reacting to them or staying stuck in them. And so I would highly invite you, if you've never used this rule before, if you've never done anything like this before, to really sit down and think about the people that are closest to you that hold you accountable to your potential and don't believe your story, but will love you for you and not make you wrong, not make your dreams wrong, your desires wrong, your fears wrong, your emotions wrong, and come up with a code word or a phrase or use Simon's, which is, do you have 8 minutes? And create this in your life so that when you are ever in breakdown, when you're ever in that moment, you have a prescription to pull out of the medicine cabinet to help you get back where you belong, back in your power, back in your heart, back in your confidence, back in momentum, so that you can create the evidence for a different result in your life. And if I can ever do that for you, if I can ever be that for you, if my team can ever be that for you, you know the best place to get a hold of me is Instagram, and I will do my best in my power to be there for you no matter what. And if you want an entire group of entrepreneurs who will be there for you, come join our alliance. It's mindofgeorge.com/RBAA. You can see it on my website, mindofgeorge.com. It says alliance. This is not a sales pitch. It's an invitation if you feel so to choose it. It's $100 a month. We do customer journey, we do business, we do mindset, but at the deepest level, we love and support each other where we are, and we all help each other get to the next level. But just remember that you never have to do this alone. I don't care what people told you. I don't care what people made you feel. I don't believe that's true, and I will die on this hill for you to know that you matter, and it's okay to feel how you feel. It's just not okay to believe those feelings, internalize them, and make yourself wrong for having them. You get to feel them. You get to move through them, you get to release them, and you get to create different evidence in the world and in your life. So that's what I had to share today. I love you to pieces. I will either see you in the next episode or you will hear me in your earballs, but either way, we're out.